was a baptism of fire the year we had yourself and Glenn Pollock down and set me off on a path to the Mounting Yard Mail. The insights I got from both yourself and particularly Glenn at that stage, wouldn't say it revolutionised what I do on track, but just gave me so much more insight into little intricacies to look for, and obviously over the last 4 years I've seen how that translates to being a really great guide into predicting horses' performance, and really enjoyed being part of it. I think the important thing too is that the continuity that gives you in terms of monitoring a horse through a preparation and just seeing the slight upturns, the slight downturns, and real warning signs. It's just it's been a great tool and a great part of what I do in racing, and I've loved doing it. I look forward to continue doing it.
You mentioned the stuff about the Glen stuff, and we don't tell everybody what the secrets are because they're our secrets and give us great edge. But having noticed that and seen the horses do what we call the 4 key negatives, you really do notice that they do lose a couple of lengths if they're there generally.
No doubt, and our racing is so competitive both in Melbourne and Sydney that half a length to a length, I mean, luck in running we all know plays a part, but if you can look at something that you think is going to either enhance a horse's performance by a length or so, or reduce it by a length or so, then that's just an absolutely crucial factor, given that our racing in general is so competitive, and they're just the things that to me have been invaluable. I mean, even from a personal point of view, let alone from a subscription-based point of view, I just think it's been invaluable, and it's certainly one of the key aspects of racing in our country.
You talk about the continuity too, and that's one of the keys to it, is you can come out and see the key negatives, but if you haven't seen that horse in its context of that preparation, and seeing these horses week in, week out is so important to be able to compare that all the way through as well.
Absolutely, and particularly with the change in seasons. I mean, a lot of the horses, most of them go through a similar, coat transformation going into winter or out into spring. But then when you see the horses that just get that little bit of a kick earlier, or perhaps turn off a bit earlier, I mean, they're the things that just hopefully are the one or two of the little key things that help give us an edge, because it is an area where everybody's looking for an edge. Punting's a very competitive landscape, racing's very competitive. Everybody's looking for that little edge, and no doubt that last minute assessment of horses before they go onto the track, and even how they can even change during a parade. They might come in a little bit hot, but by the time they leave the parade, that 1 or 2 laps of the mounting yard can really help sedate a horse and get it relaxed, particularly when a jock gets on top. So they're the things that we're looking for, and as I said, they've been invaluable to me, but also hopefully I'm sure we wouldn't continue to get the subscribers we've got if it hadn't been valuable for them. So it's it's something that I love doing, but I'm sure it's something that's a great asset to a number of people.
And it's not just about looking at the horses, Warren. You spend many, many hours. We're here at Flemington. You're the clocker here at Flemington, but you also spend many, many, many hours a week doing the form and putting that into it, and then basically the mounting yard's about putting the puzzles of the jigsaw into their final pieces.
Absolutely. I mean, track work's an important part, but I mean, I think it's not silly to assume that most horses that get to the races are capable of galloping. We see horses capable of running up 400 metres at track work, but they that's different to a 1,000-metre race against the pressure of other horses. But it certainly is an insight, and again, you see the way horses improve 1 week to the next during a preparation, and now that we can watch a number of the jump outs on vision, that's a great asset to a lot of people, and it's great that some of the Melbourne race clubs have come on board and been able to provide that. But it's just something that I adopted very early in as part of my passion for racing, was to get out here and start looking at the horses at track work, and it's become part of my professional career in what I do in reporting on it in a small way in a number of areas. And to me, it's it really is, like you say, another piece of the puzzle, but it really is a great way to. Another thing is you tend to develop great relationships with the people and learn a lot more about the horses when you're out there watching them and having little conversations with people that perhaps they don't have in the general media or in the public forum, and it certainly gives you an insight into the way horses are progressing through a preparation.
So from the product point of view, for people who are just watching this for the first time, it's an exciting way of getting a product, because you get your text message sent to you that 5-10 minutes before every race with all the information, and our theories about trying to find value, and which we have found plenty of value winners across the board, plenty of winners. The set's a winning set overall, but plenty of really, really big days have happened from the stuff that we've sent out.
Absolutely, and as much as anything else too, I mean, we don't expect that the people who are subscribing have no idea about the horses they might like to be supporting. But if we can find a short price favourite that we think isn't as good as it was last start, and it might have been an anchor for some multis or something like that. I mean, you can end up saving people money as well as making people money. So, you know, it's a really key factor in knowing how the horses are looking just before people invest. And we all do know that a lot of the serious investing is done very late in the betting and approaching the race. So from that point of view, you can find winners, but you can also perhaps save money. And from a mounting yard point of view, that's their two key attributes. And from a track work point of view, I just you're going into the midweek meetings sometimes, and even some of the provincial meetings where it's just worth noting how horses are progressing. And it's not necessarily a day where we're doing the mounting yard, maybe midweek, so therefore there's that little bit of an unknown there. But gee, what you do learn is that horses who have been working really well and trending really well, that more often than not, the majority of the time, they do carry that form through, unless they're either getting to the end of a preparation or something untoward has happened. So the mounting yard's just a really key thing on race day, and I think the track work component is really something that you can just factor into what you do during the week. And well, we've seen from evidence of what we've been doing since we've been incorporating track work in the product scheme, that really there's been some terrific winners come out of the track work component of what we do. And if you're here 2 or 3 days a week, it certainly does give you an insight into how the horses are trending.
And the track work thing you're talking about is one of our $10 services, which is a nice easy way, which you get tips, as you said, on the Wednesdays, on the Saturdays, just from the horses you've seen at track work. And that's combined with Nick Ashford from Randwick as well too, so you get the two big training bases in Australia covered. And the results as we do this interview are probably the best results we've had out of any product. So it's you're leading the way.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear, and it's something that, as I said, I love being out here. So it's something that's obviously, if it's good for the subscribers, then it's been good for me as well, because I'm certainly someone who does put my heart where my mind is, and my money where my mouth is. So if I'm not tipping winners to the subscribers, then I'm probably feeling a little bit dusty myself.
All right. Well, thank you, Warren Huntley. Beautiful to be out at Flemington, and continued success, because I'm sure it will be. It's been going for, as you said, probably 5 years now, even more, and every year's been a winning one, so why not make it another 5 years of winning ones?
Cheers, Del. Great to be a part of it.